This is breaking news.
Number ones, Katy Perry's Roar. In the number ones, I'm reviewing every single number one single in the history of the Billboard Hot 100, starting with the chart's beginning in 1958 and working my way up into the present. Book Bonus Beat. The number ones, 20 chart-topping hits that reveal the history of pop music. The 2013 MTV Video Music Awards started out as a vision of absolute fucking chaos. As detailed in last week's Blurred Lines column, this was the night that Miley Cyrus, an artist who will appear in this column very soon, worked her way into pop cultural infamy. A dizzying 10-car pileup of a medley came to include Robin Thicke, Kendrick Lamar, 2 Chainz, dancers in teddy bear outfits, a towering burlesque queen, and most prominently, Miley Cyrus' tongue. This was the final moment that the VMAs truly accomplished their prime objective, creating a sordid spectacle that became an online water cooler moment and a ready-made moral panic. It was not fun to watch, but it was consequential. By the time that award show ended, however, it had returned to something approximating business as usual. The night ended with Katy Perry coming off the world historical success of her Teenage Dream singles run and hard launching her third major label album, performing on a remote set under the Brooklyn Bridge. She was there to sing Roar, the big swing lead single that came out a couple of weeks earlier. The set was visually incoherent. Perry and her backup dancers were dressed in boxing gear, and the stage was a ring, complete with ring girls and grizzled central casting coach. But there was also another stage set up for Perry's backing band, a couple of giant golden tiger statues off to the side, and the bridge itself glittering above her. None of these things had much to do with each other, and the performance was visually cluttered enough that it was sometimes hard to know where to look. But by the end, when Perry was doing choreographed jump rope routines with the New York skyline glowing behind her, I started to realize that I was watching a real work of pop star professionalism. This kind of minutely planned out spectacle is one vision of pop stardom, while Miley Cyrus' horny and attention-addicted bedlam is another. Katy Perry had a carefully plotted album rollout strategy, and she executed every step of it. Business arrangements were made. Pepsi came on board as a sponsor. Perry was already selling fragrances, and she had more on the way. Every aspect of Prism, Katy Perry's third major label album, was presented as tightly controlled corporate entertainment. You can make a huge hit when you line everything up the right way. You can make a good song too, though that's a little less important to the various interests arrayed behind such a release. But you're probably not going to capture the world's attention or command the zeitgeist when you're doing everything inside such a meticulously designed system. Maybe that's the problem. Unfortunately for Katy Perry, there is no scientific textbook on how to follow a huge album. There are approaches, but those approaches are not guaranteed to work. It's almost impossible to build on a zeitgeist-swallowing moment to get even bigger than you already were, and Katy Perry had no hope in hell of making a record bigger than Teenage Dream. If you count the deluxe edition bonus track, Part of Me, Katy Perry sent 6 different singles to number 1 during the Teenage Dream album cycle. She parceled those hits out carefully over nearly 2 years, and she became the defining pop star of a very specific moment. So how do you follow that? Do you make a carbon copy version of the last record? Do you attempt to show your growth as an artist and a human being? Is it possible to do both at the same time? To answer that last question, no, probably not, but that's basically what Perry tried to do. Katy Perry started off the Teenage Dream album cycle as the I Kissed a Girl, a fun and flirty pin-up model type whose thundering electropop compositions worked as novelty songs and pop chart steamrollers at the same time. While she was rolling out those hits, however, she was married and divorced, an entire love life swelling and then crumbling during the short breaks in an insanely grueling schedule. She didn't take a long time in between albums, and when she started gearing up for the follow-up, she made noises about delivering something darker, more introspective, more acoustic. That's not what happened. Instead, she made a Katy Perry record. There are certain aspects of the Prism rollout that now seem Paleolithic, like the chance to unlock song snippets by adding a Pepsi-approved hashtag to your tweets, or like the golden promotional billboard truck that was smashed by a drunk driver in a Pennsylvania Walmart parking lot.